Guys, let me tell you what happened at my last blind date. I went to meet a new guy, and as usual, I brought my parents along. But, I also invited a few colleagues and some friends, thought it would be safer. So, we went out for dinner, and by the end, the bill came to 1,960. Everything was going fine until everyone had finished eating, and then the guy decided to speak up. He started out really polite, like, "So, uncle, auntie, everyone, you've finished eating, right? Everything was good." And then he turned to me and asked, "So, what do you think? Are you interested in me or not?" Well, I was honest and told him that I didn't feel a spark. And then he goes, "Oh, okay, well, if you're not interested in me, then this bill, it's yours to pay, all right?" I was shocked, right? I said, "What do you mean? I came here to meet you, you're supposed to pay." And he replied, "Well, if you'd liked me, I'd pay with pleasure, but since you didn't, I'm not covering the bill." So I said, "Look, I brought my parents, my friends, why didn't you say something earlier?" And he immediately responded, "Do you think I didn't notice? I've been holding back since the beginning. I accepted your parents, but did you really have to bring so many people along? You brought 2 girlfriends, a guy friend, and even a work colleague. What do you think I am, a meal buddy? Where's the respect?" And before I could say anything, he just got up, slammed the door, and left. Seriously, I just sat there in shock at what had just happened.
Money is for showing off to women, not for spending on them. To be honest, brother, I've been dating women for over 10, 20 years, starting when I was 15 and first getting into this, and up to now. I came to the conclusion, a rule that, if you understand it, will make 90% of the women you meet fall for you. What's the rule? It's this. Remember something called value exchange. What does that mean? To win over a woman, you have 3 options. Either you have money, or you have looks, or you're like us, knowing how to make her feel good. The goal is to make her feel emotionally valued, because that's something she needs, and in the end, she'll thank you for it. It's not about being a sycophant, you understand? For example, right now I'm here, enjoying myself, taking a trip. If someone sees my life, what do you think they'll think? Women are going to watch me, and if I'm nice to them, if I give roses, buy a cake, buy a bag, what do you think? Brother, do you think only one woman will see this? I can send it to 100 women, even those who aren't interested in me. Now, would you do that, buying bags for 10 women? No, you'd only buy for 1. So, my chance of success is 100%, because I'm sending it to 100 women. And you, by spending on 1, what are your chances? Your chances are less than 10%. So, brother, now do you understand how to win women over?
Many men don't even have the minimum amount of initiative. If you can't even buy me a simple drink, I'm not asking for much, right? I'm not asking for something extravagant. Just a simple drink, and you're being so cheap, so stingy. How much does a drink like that even cost? Nothing. A man like this, I definitely wouldn't be interested in. If he can't even buy me something simple like a drink, what would I do with him? Now, let me tell you a story. Let's say you and I are getting to know each other. I'm a woman, 28 or 29 years old, not young but not old either. I'm not saying I'm beautiful or stunning, I'm just an ordinary person. I come from a small town, from a modest family. I work in a private company and I'm financially independent, earning about 5,000 to 6,000 per month. I was introduced to a man by my family. He was from a nearby city. He seemed to have a good life, came from a rich family. He invited me to a fancy dinner at an upscale restaurant. He paid for the meal, it was nice, and then we went to a high-end shopping mall. He took me to a watch store but didn't buy anything. Then we went to a jewelry store and he bought me a small gold necklace, something simple, but it seemed like a gesture of goodwill. I thought he made a good effort. After that, we walked around the mall, and he went to get a drink. He asked me if I wanted to buy one, but then he refused to buy it. I thought to myself, he can't even buy me a drink, even though he has money. So, I started thinking maybe I was investing too much in this relationship. He didn't want to spend on the basics. In the end, I went home with the necklace, and I started thinking that man wasn't worth my time. Then, I began to think about what kind of man really would be worth it. He has to be someone who's willing to spend, who's financially stable, and who will buy me what I want. I don't care about his money, but he has to show that he cares about me. It's not just about spending, it's about how he behaves. But if he's too stingy with everything, he's not worth it. So, the conclusion is, this type of man isn't worth it.
I was wondering why some men, even when they're successful, don't spend money on certain women. It's not just about being stingy. I have a story about this. Once, I introduced a very beautiful friend of mine to a successful businessman. He's one of those guys who always drives luxury cars, lives in a mansion, and even has important government contracts. I thought they'd be a great match. They went out for 6 months but ended up breaking up. Out of curiosity, I asked her how much he had spent on her during that time. With all the money he had, I figured he'd be doing all kinds of extravagant things for her. But she told me he'd barely spent anything, only buying her a bag worth a little over 10,000 yuan. I found that strange because this guy has a reputation for being generous with people close to him. I couldn't understand why, until one day I went out to dinner with him and he brought along another girl. And guess what? In just 3 months he'd already bought her a house and a car. This really surprised me and gave me some insight. During dinner, I noticed that this girl really knew how to handle things. She was the definition of what people call a green tea, a woman with very high emotional intelligence. From the start of the dinner, she was engaging with everyone, adding people on WeChat, giving out small gifts, serving tea, ordering dishes, arranging everything in such a friendly way that everyone liked her. Now, my friend, well, she's gorgeous and a well-known influencer. But she's the type who thinks others need to serve her. She doesn't ask for anything directly, waits for men to do everything for her, never speaks up about what she wants. She spent 6 months with him without ever asking for a gift, without showing any initiative to reciprocate. She thought he should be able to read her mind and fulfill all her needs. And that's when I realized how much personality and emotional intelligence matter. It's not just about having a pretty face. These men, no matter how close they are to you, will only invest in what they feel is worthwhile. In other words, they'll spend what they think you're worth.
Many people overlook a truth. As the master said, money is not meant to be spent on women, but to be shown to them. For example, if you have 10,000 yuan, you send 9,990 to a woman and keep only 10 yuan for yourself, eating bread and instant noodles, without even buying clothes for yourself. You might think you're a good man, but in reality, this is just self-deception. The other person will only think you're a good boyfriend, someone very easy to deceive. Spending money is a way to show her your spending power. Over time, naturally, women will start to pursue you. Now, if you ask her what to do if she uses money to test you, here's the thing. A girl who really wants to be with you won't use money as a test. The girl who does that doesn't sincerely want to be with you. She only wants something in return. If you worry about what others think of you, then you'll definitely be controlled by them. Remember, in our country, only the party and the people have the right to test you. So, guys, remember to spend your money wisely. Buy clothes for yourself, have a drink, find a music or dance teacher, learn to sing and dance, get a massage from a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner to relax, and seek a ritual to soothe your soul. Isn't spending money this way much more rewarding?
Why do some men not spend money on women? Is it because they really don't want to spend? Let me break this down from a few points. First, like and save this post. The first point is, if the man has good financial conditions and the ability to spend on his girlfriend, he will spend. But if he doesn't spend enough, it just means that you haven't reached the point where he feels you're worth him spending big amounts on you. To put it more bluntly, he feels you don't deserve it, you don't have enough value for him to invest in you. Maybe your relationship is not yet at that level, or he believes that he can maintain the relationship with a lower investment, or maybe you are not providing the emotional value he expects, or your material value isn't enough. In this case, you need to look at the overall investment he is making in you, like time, energy, money, and companionship. If you want him to spend more, you need to give him more reasons to do so. Second point. If a man is willing to spend money on you, it means he has something to gain. He might be seeking love, companionship, or some value that you have to offer. He has an intention when investing, which, in a way, is a value exchange. But there is one situation you need to be cautious about. When his wealth and status are much higher than yours, and he starts giving you material things right away, don't just assume that he is in love with you or committed. You need to understand what he is looking for in you, because for him, spending money might not mean much. Furthermore, some people prefer to give money instead of love. However, if he doesn't want to spend at all, even when he has an interest, that's a big red flag. Don't be blinded by his status. Third point. Some people love in a generous way, while others are more stingy with love. You need to observe his attitude toward money, toward relationships, and his overall perspective on love. For example, if he is very frugal, he will think long-term, imagining a future together, and want to save money. This means he won't spend several months' worth of salary to buy you an expensive gift at the beginning of the relationship. He will also think, what if I buy this and you leave me? What if the relationship doesn't work out? If he isn't rich, how can he afford to spend so much on something so extravagant without knowing if the relationship will last? This could be a sign of true love, but it could also be impulsiveness and blindness. This kind of person without plans for the future might not be the best choice. On the other hand, if he doesn't invest anything at the beginning, don't be fooled. Even if he doesn't spend much at first, as the relationship deepens, he may start investing more because love is growing. You should not measure the relationship solely by how much he spends. Fourth point. Here's a piece of advice for all the women. It's not surprising for a man to spend money on a woman, and you shouldn't feel embarrassed to accept gifts or anything he gives you. This is also one of the ways he shows his love. We need to learn to accept love, but if you start thinking that every man must spend money on you to prove his love, losing your independence in the process, that would be a mistake. It's not worth losing your own identity for that. Follow me and be a conscious woman.
All men, listen up. If you've truly made money, it's better to spend it on a watch, a custom suit, or even a gym membership. Don't casually spend money on women without thinking. If you haven't reached a certain social status yet, spending money on heartless women is basically just paying for someone else's wife. If, when you're younger, you invest more energy and time into improving yourself and becoming exceptional, women will actually start investing in you. They'll spend money on you. Men with money don't lack women, and you need to understand that women who are attracted by money can also be drawn away by other money.
In their early 20s, young people don't take love too seriously. According to the consumption data from 2023, the top 3 expenditures for men were esports, cycling, and gaming, not lipstick, handbags, or skincare products. This shows that people are becoming more aware. Pursuing money is more important than pursuing love, and loving yourself is more important than loving others. Don't waste your time and money on someone with no future when the best time in your life to improve yourself is ahead of you. When you realize that someone who liked you no longer loves you, there's no reason to hold on to expectations. Don't cling, don't be obsessive, don't insist. Turn around and focus on your career, with your eyes set solely on making money, and only get involved with people who love themselves and are good for you. Thus, in their early 20s, young people don't take love too seriously. According to the consumption data from 2023, the top 3 expenditures for men were esports, cycling, and gaming, not lipstick, handbags, or skincare products. This shows that people are becoming more aware. Pursuing money is more important than pursuing love, and loving yourself is more important than loving others. So when you're unsure whether the person you love really loves you, stop loving them. Start loving yourself. Those who seek love end up disappointed, while those who seek money succeed. In the end, I hope I won't regret these thoughts in the future. If anyone still expects men today to behave like pets or backup plans like men from the past, it's better to walk away, especially those who like to test a man's sincerity based on how much he spends. It's not worth trying anymore. Today, everyone knows how hard it is to make money, win over a woman, go out for dinner, watch a movie, buy gifts. All of this costs between $2,000 to $3,000 per month. But the problem is there's no future in the relationship. Most of the time, it's money down the drain. In the end, the woman might not even let the man touch her hand. Once men become aware of this, they say it's not worth investing in relationships like these. Many men believe that having dinner or watching a movie with a woman they like is fine. The problem is that some women, even when they're not interested in the man, still enjoy what he offers. They never refuse a dinner, a movie, or a gift, But when it comes to defining the relationship, they say they are slow to warm up and need more time to think. In the end, the man spends time and money, and the woman says she's not the right person and walks away. This behavior is seen by today's men as that of gold diggers or scammers, especially those who, before even defining the relationship, already ask for money or gifts. You're not his girlfriend, so why ask for these favors? If you don't have any relationship with him, what right do you have to demand that he treat you like his girlfriend? What do you think about the awakening of men in China, who are no longer willing to invest in women? If anyone has an opinion, leave a comment. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more dilemmas like this. See you in the next video.